Hi everyone, I'm Coco from the AdWords support team, and welcome to our Enhanced Campaigns Hangout on Air series. To give you a little bit of background on this series, it's going to be a four-part series, and this is our second installment. 2 weeks ago, our Hangout on Air, we covered bid adjustments. So if you're curious to learn more about that, that recording is available on the Google Business YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk specifically about upgrading to enhanced campaigns and how to manage your campaigns once you've done so. So to help me out talking about this, we've got the experts themselves, Phil and Leslie. I know y'all introduced yourselves last time, but we just want to know some more about you. So why don't you give us a little bit of background, maybe a Googly fact or something?
Sure, thanks, Coco. Like I said, this is our second time back for Enhanced Campaigns, so thanks for coming on back and welcoming us back. Since last time, I actually went skydiving, so I think I'll throw that out as my fact. It was pretty fun, pretty exhilarating, and not nearly as scary as it sounds, so I
Yeah.
definitely throw up a good recommendation for it.
Nice, nice. Haven't done that yet. It's on my bucket list, but okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Leslie again. I'm a product specialist at Google and I've been focusing specifically on enhanced campaigns. And another googly fact is that 2 summers ago I climbed Kilimanjaro.
Cool. Y'all are just really adventurous. I'm not nearly as adventurous as that. Cool stuff. Well, if you are watching the YouTube recording, watching the recording of this on YouTube after the fact, know that you can view timestamps in the video description. So if you want to skip around to certain topics, you can definitely do so. And if you're watching this live, know that you can post any questions that you have about what Leslie and Phil are covering on the Google Ads Google Plus page. Just comment. So let's just jump right into it. Leslie, I think you're going to kick us off here.
Sure, so just to give a little bit of background before we get started in how to upgrade and merge your campaigns to enhanced campaigns, I just wanted to reiterate that the idea behind enhanced campaigns is that it's going to make it a lot easier for you to manage your campaigns. So previously you might have had to have dozens of campaigns just to accomplish a few different controls to make sure that you're getting the right ROI you want, and now you're able to do that with one. So to recap, the three main changes happening with enhanced campaigns. First is that you're going to get better control for the context of when your ad is shown. So you can make sure that you're showing your ad to the right user at the right time in a much simpler way than before. And this specifically means that you're going to be able to reach users across different devices, locations, and times within, again, that single campaign. The second main change is that you have better ads. So you're able to show the right message to the right person at the right time and match the user's intent with the context of where they are, when they are, and how they're accessing it to make sure that you're giving the most relevant message to that particular user. And third, we have better reporting. So there's new reports and conversion types so that you can measure the overall effectiveness of your ads, whether it's coming in from an online sale or a phone call. We want to make sure that you're able to account for all those different types of conversions. And so in our last Hangout on Air, as Coco mentioned, we talked about bid adjustments. And in the next two, we're going to cover some of the new ad extension functionalities and how to optimize your mobile ads. But today we're going to focus specifically on how you even get these features. So how to upgrade your campaigns into enhanced campaigns, and then how to merge your campaigns if you have them separated out by device or by location and you want to consolidate them into one or fewer campaigns.
Cool stuff. Well, Phil, tell us how we make the magic happen. How do we upgrade to get all these cool things that Leslie was talking about?
Yeah, thanks for that, Coco. So to get started with upgrading, you can just log right into your account. You'll find that there'll be a notification waiting for you there. If you're currently just upgrading one campaign, the process is going to be really easy for you. So that's the great news. Also, like I said, with that getting started button that's waiting for you on your campaign, if you click through that, there's a really easy walkthrough waiting for you. You should be able to finish this in a few minutes, to be honest with you. The transition is really easy, and like we mentioned in the last Hangout, the only modification that you have to make when transitioning over is for mobile bids. So keep in mind that you can bid up or down from mobile devices with full browsers now. You'll be prompted to select a bid adjustment, and we'll provide you with a recommendation based off of advertisers in your space. So this will give you some of that control that you're looking for on mobile devices without having to split it out into multiple campaigns like Leslie mentioned. After you input your mobile bid adjustment, you'll be provided with some resources that asks you to complete the process. What I suggest is that you just click through those resources and go ahead and bookmark those, so that way you can come back to them later and find out some more features about Enhanced Campaigns. It has great information, and if you don't do that, they'll still be waiting for you in our online help center. So take advantage of those and take advantage of us for sure. Even though the campaign migration will happen automatically in a few months, we're trying to get the message out and get people to transition early, so that way you can get used to the interface, ask us any questions that you have, bring up any feedback that you have as well, so that way we can possibly make some adjustments and work with you on it as much as possible.
Cool, cool. So just to clarify, what Phil was talking about is if you just have one campaign that you need to upgrade, it's a pretty easy, you just click a button kind of process to make it happen. And Phil actually did a demo in our last Hangout on Air on how to click that button. So if you want to take a look at that, like I say, that recording's available on YouTube. But a lot of our advertisers probably have different campaigns targeting different devices and different locations. So Leslie, I think you're going to tell us what to do if we're in that boat.
Sure. So if you fall into the bucket of an advertiser that's tried to optimize their campaigns by device, you may in your account have a campaign targeting just desktop and just targeting mobile. And this is the use case scenario where you're going to need to consolidate those two campaigns into just one enhanced campaign. And so I thought actually what would be most useful would just be to walk through a quick example. I think AdWords Editor is probably the best tool to use for this, so I'm just going to open up Editor right now and we can walk through a quick example. All right, so if you look in Editor right now, we see the campaigns that I have up top, Kids Playground-Desktop and Kids Playground-Mobile. So because, again, enhanced campaigns are going to target all devices, if I left it in my account as is right now, come June, both of those campaigns would target all devices. So they would be essentially duplicate campaigns. So what we're trying to do with a merge is just figure out what differences there are between the two campaigns. So if there's any keywords that are missing, any ad groups, any ads, and make sure that the one campaign that I do decide to upgrade has all of those things covered so that I'm maintaining what I was doing before the merge. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is just identify which campaigns should be merged. A lot of times it's going to be really simple of you have two campaigns with the same name, one saying desktop, one saying mobile. So here I can see, okay, these two I want to merge. You're going to want to then just check the settings, make sure that they're targeting the same networks, that they're targeting the same geographic locations. If there's any ad scheduling or IP exclusions, basically just any information in the settings tab, you're going to want to compare across those two campaigns just to make sure that they're the same. So I did that quickly in Editor. It's also useful to look at it in the interface of AdWords, and I see that they have the same settings. So now I want to choose which campaign I'm going to upgrade. For most scenarios, it's going to be the desktop campaign. The way that you're going to choose this is it's whichever campaign is more built out, whichever one has longer performance history or just generally has been performing better, that's the one you're going to want to stick with because, again, it's going to have that data from the past. The campaign that you decide to pause or delete, you'll still have the data in the account, but it won't be ported over into that one enhanced campaign, so that's just something to note. So here I'm going to keep my desktop campaign. That's the one I want to enhance. And so now I'm going to start looking for differences. And again, it's just basically running through a list of where could there be discrepancies and can I control for that. So I'm going to start out with ad groups. And just looking at it, I see the desktop I have board games, branded keywords, and toys. And in the mobile campaign, I have an additional ad group. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to copy it over. So copy it from the one campaign and paste it into the desktop, since again, this is the one that I'm going to be upgrading. Next, I'm going to look at keywords and just see if there's any differences in the keywords. So I'll go over to the keywords tab, and I'm just doing a quick gut check, looking at how many keywords are down here. I see 7. In this one, there's 9. So it looks like I have a few extra keywords, and I'm just going to want to make sure to copy those over. So I saw that birthday gifts for kids was not in the initial. I'm just going to paste that in. And you're going to do the same just throughout all the ad groups, making sure that if you have any missing keywords in the campaign that you're going to pause or delete, just make sure to copy it into the one that you're going to upgrade. The other important thing to look at with keywords is to get a sense if you're bidding any differently on them. Because as Phil mentioned, you're going to set a mobile bid adjustment. And one of the ways that you can inform that decision of what you set is to look at how you're currently bidding. So if I'm looking at my desktop campaign, all my max CPCs are $1 for the most part. And then if I go into board games, they look pretty similar. A couple had a little bit higher bid at $4. So that might be something to consider. So in this campaign, since I'm bidding the same amount, I might keep the mobile bid adjustment at 0%, saying keep my bids equal to desktop. But if I was bidding, say, 50 cents on my mobile campaign, I might make the mobile bid adjustment negative 50%. Or similarly, if I were bidding $2, I might increase my bid on mobile to be a positive 100%. So after you've looked at the keywords and the bids, the next thing is just going to be looking at the ads. So if I'm looking at the ad in my board games ad group, I see this ad. I'm looking in the mobile. I see that I've changed the ad text slightly just to emphasize call now, because I'm trying to get people to call the physical business. And it looks like in my other ad groups I'm seeing a similar story of all these ads are basically just highlighting call because the ad's showing on a mobile phone. So what I'm going to want to do, I'm going to again want to copy this over into the desktop campaign and set it specifically as a mobile preferred ad so that it still is only showing on mobile. And you'll see down here there's a little area device preference where you can change where it says all to mobile, and that's again just going to make that ad specific to mobile devices. It's keeping it consistent to how it was running before. The next thing that you're going to want to look for is any differences in extensions. I'm going to go back up to the campaign. And an important thing to note is in Editor, not all the extensions are available. So this is something that you will actually have to check on the campaign in the interface to see if there's any call extensions you're using or product extensions or things like that. So in desktop, I'm using no location extensions, but I am using site links. The site links look the same in the mobile campaign, but I also have a location extension. So again, this is going to be the same thing. I'm going to copy it from the mobile campaign back up to the desktop campaign since that's the one that I will be upgrading. All right, so once you've checked the extensions, the next step is to set that mobile bid adjustment. And we looked at that when we were copying over the keywords. And since I was bidding the same on mobile and desktop, I'm going to actually keep a mobile bid adjustment of 0%. But again, this is something it's a good conversation, a good thing to think about for your business of what makes sense for your business now, as well as going forward, considering the evolution of the mobile space. And then finally, now that I've pretty much consolidated all the things, the two steps left. One will be to pause or maybe even delete the mobile campaign. Again, deleting it, you'll still have the data in the account, but there won't create any confusion of, oh, why did I pause this? And I would actually take it even one step further and change the name. So say merged with kids playground, so that you remember that's why you had changed it. And then the final step is just going to be consolidating the budget, since you previously had two campaigns and now we'll have one. So I'll see there's $30 in this mobile campaign. So I'm just going to go ahead and change the budget of the primary campaign to reflect both of those. And with that, that should cover most of the differences between the campaigns. Depending on the particular accounts, it can get a little bit more involved, or it can be as simple as this example. But I think Editor is probably the easiest way to do that. So if you haven't already downloaded it, you can just do a Google search for that and download the product for free.
Excellent. Thanks for doing that demo, Leslie. That was really helpful. There is some functionality to copy ads and keywords over from one campaign to another, but as Leslie just demonstrated, copy and pasting in the Editor is very, very easy. So one question for you, Leslie, that I sometimes get from advertisers: if you're going to move the contents of one campaign into another, and let's just use your example, you had a desktop and a mobile campaign. Let's say I worked really hard to sort of build up the quality score that I had in my mobile campaign. How is that going to affect the quality score, if I'm merging it into one campaign, or is it going to affect it at all?
Sure, that's a great question. And the very short answer, the thing to remember, is that it won't be impacted. So long as you have the same keyword showing with the same ad on that device, the quality score is going to maintain the same. And the reason that you're able to merge a keyword into a new campaign and maintain that quality score is that quality score actually already is calculated on a device level. So even if you had the keyword flowers in a campaign targeting all devices, you only see one quality score, but in fact there's a different quality score for flowers on desktop and flowers on mobile. and you're just seeing a blended average of that quality score across devices. So if you had flowers separated into a desktop and mobile campaign, consolidating them in one campaign, you're still going to have distinct quality scores by device, but you will see more of a blended number as you do in current hybrid campaigns.
Okay, cool stuff. Good to know. All right, well, Phil, now that we've got our campaigns all enhanced, how do we manage them, man?
Yeah, thanks for that, Coco. So management is going to be really important. Just as with any changes with AdWords, what you want to do is check on your performance periodically. So after you upgrade your campaigns, we're definitely suggesting that as well. I want to show you a few reports here that we use all the time. They're really helpful. You can find them really easily in your account. Just to do that as best as we can, I'm going to just do a live screen share. Just as a heads up, we know it's not as clear as possible, but we do want to just give people a preview of how this looks, so definitely bear with us on that. Just as Leslie mentioned, there's a few places that we can take a look at in terms of performance, and like we mentioned in our last Hangout as well. The first thing I really like to see is how you're performing on devices. So if you go under your settings tab in your account, and then click on the devices sub-tab here, this will break it down for you in terms of how are you performing on mobile devices with full browsers versus computers versus tablets. So just as Leslie mentioned in her example, when you transition over, you can set a bid adjustment and a percentage, but this report will actually give you some information on how you've been performing since you transitioned over. So if you previously had a campaign that was just for mobile and another one that was for computers, you can kind of see how they're doing under one campaign using this report. So it's really, really helpful. The same thing goes if you wanted to look at your performance based off of locations. So a lot of advertisers I've talked to, they have campaigns set out for different locations. Enhanced Campaigns allows you to compile those now, put them all under one campaign if you wish, and you can still look at your performance really easily by using this report. So I definitely suggest using that. Another report I really like to use is found under the Dimensions tab. Most of you already know this, but if you don't, definitely start using the Dimensions tab. It's almost like a reporting hub right in your account here, so it's really helpful to use. Let's say you want to look at your reports, over time. So if you've been running this for the last couple of months or you just transitioned over to Enhanced Campaigns, you could change your view based off of certain times. So you could do it by week, by month, by the quarter. You could look at, just by day. So it doesn't really matter how far you want to break it down. The Dimensions tab can do that for you. So we definitely suggest doing that after you make your transition. If you're worried about your performance or if you just want to see and you're curious, this is a great place to come. Finally, and the last thing I want to show you is also breaking down your advertisements by different columns and segments. What you can do with that is add in a segment. Let's say, for example, you wanted to look by conversions, or if you wanted to look by device based off of the ads that you're running. You can do that right here in your reports as well. So you can break down for this particular ad, how am I showing up on computers versus mobile devices, for example. And this can happen not only on your ads level, but also down on the keyword level as well. So definitely keep that in mind, that when you're looking into your reports and after you make your transition over to Enhanced Campaigns, you're definitely not going to be in the dark, and we want you to be having as much information as possible. So use some of these reports to look on that, and definitely give us a call if you need any help as well.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, guys, for sharing all that information with us. If you join midway through, or if you want to go back, especially through Leslie's example there, this recording of the Hangout on Air is going to be available tomorrow on the Google Business YouTube channel, and we'll put up a recap post on the Google Ads Google Plus page with that link so you can easily find it. As Phil was mentioning, if you do have any further questions, any specifics about your account, maybe you have like a tricky setup right now and you're wondering how best to sort of merge and upgrade them, definitely give us a call at 866-2-GOOGLE. We're available weekdays from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'd love to delve into your account specifically and talk about how to optimize. But thanks so much, Phil and Leslie. You guys were fantastic. Really appreciate you joining us, and thanks to everyone who was viewing. So y'all have a great rest of your week.
Thanks.
Thank you.